The Stockton Heat have an abundance of youthful energy going into this playoff series against the San Jose Barracuda, but they also want to lean on some of that veteran experience. And when you look at the Stockton locker room, there's lots of it. Hi, everyone. Brandon Kisker here for Heat TV. And there's an interesting story to tell from the Stockton locker room as Mike Angelidis, Mike Kostka, and Keith Aulie, all part of the same team, the Norfolk Admirals, back in 2012 to take home the Calder Cup. Stockton coming into the playoff series points in 11 straight games. That 2012 Norfolk Admirals club, well, they had won 28 straight games from February 10th on out, only lost 3 games in the postseason. Of all the guys in the dressing room that need to know how to bounce back after a loss, it's those 3 guys.
The Marlies will send it down, and the Admirals are Calder Cup champions.
Whenever you get a chance to be reunited with guys like that, who you've shared that championship experience with, it's always special. So I think it's good. We've got a great core of guys who have all accomplished things at different levels, and we're going to be leaning on that expertise.
First thing I noticed was how closely knit that team was. Everybody went out every night and worked for each other. It was a very selfless type of team. Everybody, the most important thing was that logo on your chest, and every night we played, you could tell guys just bought into the system.
We were struggling for a long time after Christmas, kind of the same similarity that we were doing here, and we just said we need to be better. And you know, we had a big team meeting, and the team went on the 28 in a row. Coming
on to a team like that, you're almost just kind of tiptoeing in because you don't want to mess anything up when they're on a 25-game win streak.
Having Mike in the lineup was always huge, and he was big on our power play. He scored one of the weirdest, funniest goals I've ever seen. It was a huge goal, but it was an overtime goal in Game 3 in the finals. It kind of, you know, it was kind of like the dagger in their back. And you know, big Keith Aulie, he came in. He was up at Tampa, and he came in. He was playing big minutes on the PK and blocking shots like he does for us.
We ended up losing, I think it was 2 or 3 games in playoffs. And it was funny because the team was just not used to losing at all.
Time when emotions can run high and sometimes get the best of you, so I think it's always good to have those other influences where, you know, if your emotions are getting the best of you, or maybe you're getting caught up in the moment a little too much, it's good to have other guys that can kind of bring you back down so that you don't experience anything too high or too low.
You got to have your emotions. You got to have them at even keel and kind of keep them in check, and make sure you're not going out of trying to make a big hit and getting yourself out of position. I think you got to play hockey. And
that was the one thing I remember about that group, was just we were so used to just playing so well every night that when adversity did come, it was amazing to see how we gelled together again and got the job done.
Keith Aulie, who was obviously part of this Marlies club and the Toronto Maple Leafs over the past 2 years, congratulating his ex-teammates.
Yeah, it was an interesting dynamic, obviously going back to the city that I'd just been traded from, and seeing a lot of familiar faces, seeing you know, some good friends obviously that played on the other team and played in that organization. So it was obviously a weird feeling playing that, but it made it, you know, you got that much more jacked up to beat them.
Ask Mike Angelidis to come forward and accept the Calder Cup on a tremendous season.
I think it just speaks to, you know, catching fire when it matters most. You know, from what I understand, obviously I wasn't here all year, but there was some pretty big ups and downs and a bit of a roller coaster.
You know, we've got a lot of guys that are, some of them are, you know, 4th-year guys like Shinkarik, who's been in the finals, guys that have gone to the 2nd, 3rd round, and you know what playoff hockey's like here. And I think you know, those guys are going to have to help out in the experience level and helping out some of the young guys, making sure they're comfortable and ready to go.
There was just a really tight-knit group, you know, something similar that we have here, and I think that just goes hand in hand with the success that we've had.
The fans in Norfolk were absolutely amazing. When we did our Cup parade, they were all out there. It was unbelievable. It was great. The fans were always coming out to all our games. It was unbelievable to be a part of it.
We had to get together the following year during the season, and we all, you know, we gathered and we got our championship rings, and that was kind of our intimate setting to, yeah, kind of put a cap on that and to celebrate it one last time.
There's going to be lots of adversity. We're not going to play perfect games here in the playoffs. It's going to be up and down. Momentum's going to swing around. So that's where we have to have our mental toughness to really battle through that.
I think we got a good group of guys in that dressing room. I said it from day one. I felt like we have a good team, and we just got to show everyone who we are.